Well, the 10th episode of The Nancy Drew Show was fantastic, and I'm really glad. There are multiple reasons why this episode was so great and why I liked it a lot. First of all, it was more of an emotional episode which focused on character development, and that's good. I feel like the series really needed it, as opposed to an episode which is focused on rawr, jump scares. There was no supernatural stuff in this episode, besides for one minor scene at the very end, so I liked that as well. But I think the main reason I liked it was that the emotional stuff built to the ending that I've wanted to see for a while. So the storyline is that Nancy's just sort of sad and depressed because her father's been arrested because of her. She tries to go off and do something dangerous on her own, like always, and her friends insist on helping the whole time, and they come save her in the end, and she's like, "Why are you doing this to me? I ruined your lives, just like I ruined my dad's life." And they give her a big speech about, "We love you, Nancy! This is why we actually care about you." And that's great! I think I complained in one of my earlier reviews that I didn't like the start of the show, where everybody's angry and they don't like each other. But now, we've reached the point where everyone in the Clue crew are friends. They're friends and they like working together. Except maybe for Nick. Nick is still kind of cold to Nancy. But it's still good. It's still the moment that I've been waiting for a while to finally see everybody in the gang become friends and work together to solve the mystery instead of just sniping at each other and being mean all the time. One minor complaint. Nancy is just supposed to be numb and not feeling anything throughout the whole episode, but her hair and makeup are perfect. I'm sorry, somebody who is too depressed to eat is probably not able to put up perfect makeup and hair. So I think they should just taken off all her makeup. Another thing I liked about this episode was the fact that it's a standalone mystery. The mystery starts and finishes in this episode, and that's good. That's sort of what I was expecting from the series all along. Like, every episode would be a new mystery, like they do in Law and Order, or, Murder, She Wrote, or, other mystery TV shows. So, I really like that. Yeah, we've had some episodes with sort of a standalone mystery, like the one where they all wear masks, but I feel like this one was better and more complete. The mystery is that Nancy's trying to find a serial poisoner. Apparently, Tiffany Hudson, the victim, she was killed with this rare poison, and 3 or so people were murdered with that poison about 15 years ago. So Nancy makes a video calling out the poisoner, saying, "Hey, you want to poison someone? Hey, poison me, huh?" And wow, that was pretty bold. And there was a cool plot twist. So spoiler alert. The culprit poses as the victim in order to lure Nancy into a high school. So the culprit was an old high school teacher who murdered all of her colleagues. Nancy and her friends are able to make the high school connection, so Nancy knows to go there to save the victim in time, but it's actually the culprit pretending to be a victim. And Nancy gets poisoned, and Nancy starts to slowly die, but her friends save her in time and give her some sort of magic ring. I don't know if she ate it or smelt the ring. I don't know if that was what protected her from the poison, because I thought she was going to smell it, but it looked like they put it in her mouth for her to eat. And rings are generally not edible, unless they're ring pops, so I thought that was a little weird. Maybe I missed a line of dialogue there. And another thing I really liked about this episode was sort of the minor characters. Ace, we got to learn about Ace's background. Ace's father is deaf. So Ace's father is deaf. That was really interesting and unexpected. And it was kind of neat to see Ace and his father do sign language throughout most of the episode. I don't know if they use actual sign language. I only know basic sign language. Like, this is Dad. So I wasn't paying close enough attention. But if I imagine if I rewatched the episode, I would look for sign language like, "Hey, Dad, I, you." Those are basic signs that you can look for. And Bess. Bess was the other minor character I liked in this episode, because they sort of resolved the storyline with her being a Marvin. Guess what? She's one of the Marvins. Cool. Bess also had some cute scenes at the beginning with Nick and Owen Marvin, which is great. So I'm glad to see Bess is able to actually do something for once, as opposed to just being, the dumb person stereotype for comedy relief. And Owen Marvin, he looks incredibly tall. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's his new hairstyle, but he looks about 3 to 5 inches taller now, and that kind of surprised me. Owen was great in this episode, by the way. He had scenes with Bess and Ryan Hudson. I'm not sure what Ryan was up to. They were trying to convince Ryan to turn on his father, and it seemed like Ryan is about to do it, but then he talks to Mommy, and Mommy says no, and he goes, oh, okay. And then for some reason he had a vase. I didn't quite understand it. Another small complaint I would make, besides not understanding the vase and Nancy wearing makeup, was the title. The title is like the mark of the poisoner's pearl, and I have no idea what the title has to do with this episode. Poisoner, yeah, poison gas, sure, but there is no pearl or no specific marks. The poisoner sent this cool, like, cryptex thing to Ace's father, so Nancy figured out the clue wasn't actually decoding the encryption, it was actually mashing the two pictures together to get a secret message. So that was cool, too. That was really clever. So overall, it was a really good episode, and I liked it a lot. It's... Oh, I forgot to mention that the series was renewed for a season 2, so we're gonna see season 2 of Nancy Drew. It makes me wonder, are they going to change the ending to this season because they know there's another season? Are they gonna leave some plot threads open to explore in the next season? Or is next season going to be, there's a new mystery for them to solve? So those are my thoughts on the episode. It was good. I hope the series continues on this good path.